Hello everyone. I am Bahita from CS Department of Rohini College of Engineering and Technology. I am here to discuss a few topics of the subject CS 3352 Foundations of Data Science. We are going to discuss about data preparation in this topic. The data received from the data retrieval phase is likely to be a diamond in the rough. So the task is to prepare for use in the modeling and reporting phase. The model needs the data in specific format, so the data transformation will always come into the play. So this is a diagram for the data science process. Then we are going to cleanse the data. So cleansing the data cleansing is a sub process of data science process that focuses on removing the errors in the data so that the data becomes a true and consistent presentation of the process it originates from. There are two types of errors. The first type is the interpretation error, such as when you take the value in your data for granted, like saying that a person's age is greater than 300 years. Then the second type is the error points to inconsistencies between data sources or against your company's standardized values. So this is a general solution. Try to fix the problem early in the data acquisition chain or else fix it in the program. In error description, the possible solution for that. So errors pointing to the false values within one data set. Mistakes during data entry can be rectified manually. Redundant white spaces, we can use string functions. And impossible values, manual overrules. Missing values, remove observation or value. Outliers, validate, and if errors, then treat as missing value or remove or insert. The errors pointing to inconsistencies between the data sets, derivations from a code block, match on keys or else use manual overrules, the different units of measurement, recalculate, different levels of aggregation, bring to same level of measurement by aggregation or extrapolation. Now let us see about data entry errors. The data collection and data entry are error-prone processes. They often require human intervention. As humans, they make typos or lose their concentration for a second and introduce an error into the chain. But data collected by the machines or the computers isn't free from errors either. The errors can arise from human sloppiness, whereas others are due to the machine or hardware failure. So values are specified for certain things. Now let us see about redundant white space. White spaces tend to be hard to detect but causes errors like other redundant error characters would. Fixing redundant white spaces can be done by most programming languages, and fixing capital letter mismatches. The capital letter mismatches are common. Most programming languages make a distinction between Brazil and Brazil, and in this case we can solve the problem by applying a function that returns both strings in lowercase, as such as the function that returns both the strings in lowercase, such as lower in Python, and Brazil.lower equal to Brazil.lower should return in true. Impossible values and sanity checks. The sanity checks are another valuable type of data check. Here we check the value against physically or theoretically impossible values such as people taller than 3 meters or someone with an age of 299 years. Sanity checks can be directly expressed with the rules. Check is equal to 0, less than or equal to age, less than or equal to 120. Now let us see about outliers. An outlier is an observation that seems to be distant from other observations, or more specifically, one observation that follows a different logic or generative process than that other observations. The easiest way is to find the outliers to use a plot or a table with the minimum and maximum values. An example is shown in the figure. Dealing with missing values. The missing values aren't necessarily wrong, but we still need to handle them separately. Certain modeling techniques can't handle the missing values. There are some certain techniques like omitting the values It has an advantage and disadvantages, like it is easy to perform, and disadvantages is we lose the information from the observation. Similarly, we have other techniques like set value to null, impute static values such as 0 or the mean, impute value from an estimated or the theoretical distribution, modeling the value. So all this comes under this dealing with missing values. Now let us see about the derivations from a code book. Detecting error is larger data sets against a code book or against the standardized values can be done with the help of set operations. A codebook is a description of data, a form of metadata. It contains the things such as the number of variables per observation, the number of observations, and what each encoding within a variable means. Combining the data from different data sources. The data comes from several different places and we need to integrate these different sources. Data varies in size, type and structure, ranging from databases and Excel files to new text documents. Now let us see about joining tables. The joining tables allows us to combine the information of one observation found in one table with the information that it is found in another table. The focus is on enriching a single observation. To join the tables, we use variables that represent the same object in both tables, such as a date, a country name, or a social security number. So these common fields are known as keys. When these keys are uniquely defined records in the table, they are called primary keys. Appending the table. Appending or stacking tables is effectively adding observations from one table to another table. The figure shows an example of appending tables. One table contains observation from the month of January and the second table contains observations from the month February. The diagram shows these things. Using views to simulate the data joins and appends. To move duplication of data, we virtually combine the data with the views. The problem is that when we duplicate the data, more storage space is needed. In case of less data, then that may not cause any problem, but if every table consists of terabytes of data, then it becomes a problematic or duplicate the data. Enriching aggregated measures. Data enrichment can also be done by adding calculated information to the table, such as the total number of sales or what percentage of total stock has been sold in a certain region, as shown in the figure. Transforming the data. Certain models require their data to be a certain shape. After cleansing and integrating the data, the new task is to transform the data so that it is a suitable form for data modeling. The relationships between an input variable and an output variable aren't always linear. So take for instance the relationship of the form y is equal to aebx. Now let us see about reducing the number of variables. Sometimes there are too many variables and we need to reduce the number because they don't add new information to the model. Having too many variables in the model makes the model difficult to handle, and certain techniques don't perform well when we overload them with too many input variables. So turning the variables into dummies. These dummy variables can only take two values, that is true or false. True means 1 or false means 0. So they are used to indicate the absence of a categorical effect that may explain the observation. Thank you.